My name's Andrew Nelstrop. I'm the owner of the English Whisky Company based here at Roudham in Norfolk. My father, James Nelstrop, who was a Lincolnshire farmer, had always dreamed of opening a whisky distillery. And so in 2005, we designed what you see today, and we were distilling by the end of 2006. If we're all being honest, we were distilling without doors or windows because there was talk of another whisky distillery opening up in the Lake District, and there was no prizes for being second. We were England's first registered whisky distillery for over 100 years. The first whisky got laid down in oak casks in 2006, and here we are looking forward to releasing a 15-year-old this year. We have older whisky than that, but of course you've got to wait a bit longer, so you've got enough of it. The original goal was really easy. It was to make absolutely the finest single malt whisky. And it wasn't allowed to be, according to my father, it wasn't allowed to be weird and wacky whisky or have a specific taste of cardamom or anything weird. He wanted a world-class whisky that he could share with his friends. And we've stuck with that. Today I am wearing the Brancaster Classic shirt from Schöffel. Absolutely lovely. I think we've all been through phases of polo shirts and t-shirts, but actually in my day I spend half the time seeing people and so have to be a little bit smarter. And these are good shirts. They seem to last the rigors of a mediumly active lifestyle, which is what I live. For me, because I am not particularly skinny, when I order an 18 neck, which is what I am, I don't want to end up with a tent. And somehow Schöffel have got it just right, where the neck fits and so does the rest of it, without being too tight or being enormously baggy. I think I'm obviously a Schöffel size, which is good. When I first started, I didn't like whiskey. It had never really crossed my mind to drink it particularly. And I think one of the reasons is that most people arrive in their village pub at 18 or thereabouts, and their first go at whiskey is going to be a fairly moderate blend hanging from an optics, at which point everyone will go, oh, you don't want water, you're worse, etc. And they end up drinking this ordinary whiskey neat. And that's it. We don't see any of them as a whiskey drinker again for another 20 years. It's probably not the way to start. So I think there are all sorts of things. Your taste buds change every 7 years. So the reason you didn't like olives and anchovies when you were a teenager and suddenly you do, is the same reason just because you don't like whiskey today doesn't mean you won't at a later point. The other important one is water. I love water with my whiskey. I mean, I treat it like gin and tonic, this much whiskey, this much water. And some people think that's sacrilege, but actually, I'm not convinced it is. I don't want to sit there nursing 1 centimetre of whiskey all night. I want to carry on drinking with my friends who are drinking other things. So the best way to drink whiskey is however you like. At 15 years, are we young or old? I think we've come of age, probably. The bit that excites me more, and this is probably a bit nerdy, is we have spreadsheets showing all of our casks and when we put them in store and when we're going to take them out. When we started in 2006, that spreadsheet ran to 2056. And that's the bit that really excites me. How many other industries sit down and literally plan 50 years forward? It'll be a generation later before some of these are even looked at or sniffed. So, yeah, I think it is a country pursuit. Anybody that goes into this expecting to make a quick buck and get out, they probably should have made gin instead, I think.